Hi, welcome back to another daily lore uh, reaction. Sorry, I didn't post Monday because I normally post Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But all the things are I was too lazy. I was supposed to record it Sunday and then post it Monday, but I was too lazy to be honest. I don't know why. And I could have I could have recorded on Monday as well because I posted at like 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., 3 p.m. EST. So I could have obviously continued. I could have recorded the one on Monday and still post it, but I was just too lazy. I was way too lazy. I make these usually in the morning around like 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Uh, so before I go to sleep, obviously, I have a terrible sleeping schedule. So yeah, I'm sorry. For the rest, I'm just because I didn't post on Monday, I'm actually going to record one for every single day, and I'm going to post for the rest of the week, obviously. So I probably have to record like two in a day or so. So yeah, I normally record every other day. Like that's why I have it like that. That's not obviously the only reason why I post on the weekends, of course. Um, I mean every other day. I also did it because I didn't want to catch up with the main. That I didn't want to catch up with this channel. Um, because then I have to wait until he posted. And I don't know how many posts every day. I'm not sure, and I don't know if it was enough to actually. I don't know if it would be enough to, you know, continue on my every other day one. Well, it probably is actually. I just don't want to post every day. So also, it gives me more time to actually record these every other day. And plus the weekends, I don't post on the weekends. So yeah, okay. Let's me stop rambling and continue on. It's already been 2 minutes, almost three. Okay, let's continue on. So I'm gonna obviously the next four are these four, but I'm doing this one for now.
My childless stepsister wouldn't stop borrowing my daughter's clothes, saying she was paying us back for my dad's estate money. Then I caught her on video destroying a $500 christening gown and selling my kids gifts. Today she got exactly what she deserved when the family lawyer revealed the truth. For context, I'm 36 and have a 6-year-old daughter, Emma. My father remarried when I was 22 to a lovely woman named Diane, who brought her daughter Caitlin, then 18, into our lives. Despite the age gap, Dad always treated Caitlin as his own, paying for her college and supporting her throughout her 20s while she found herself. When Dad passed away unexpectedly 2 years ago, his will divided most of his estate between my brother Jake and me. Caitlin inherited a trust fund that would pay out monthly for 10 years, designed to help her while she established her career. She also received several pieces of family jewelry and personal items that Dad wanted her to have.
That makes sense. That's fine because he was not actually her daughter, and she actually has no right for anything. So the fact that she's getting something is actually meaning he actually views you as family or something like that. So, I mean, it's actually a good thing that she's getting something because honestly, he didn't need to do any of that. That's not something they do. I mean, if you're not direct family, you don't have to get anything from a will or anything like that. You're not entitled to anything because you're not true. You're not like blood related. Even though blood related doesn't really mean anything, but it does mean something if you're trying to get something. Like if you're uh, a will, for instance, or if they don't have a will, basically. If you're related to the person, you are entitled to your parents' assets. It goes, if I remember correctly, it goes your kids, and then it goes anybody else. Pretty much, something like that. I don't know exactly, but something like that.
Caitlin had moved closer to us last year, supposedly to be near family during her grief. At first, her renewed interest in spending time with us felt genuine. She'd come over for dinner, offered to babysit Emma, and seemed eager to build an aunt-niece relationship. As a working single mom, I
Have you seen that ad?
I'm
Control the
gonna write
pawns to the
this.
left and to
Yeah,
the right.
this.
+2, -3, kind of a running forward.
to babysit Emma, and seemed eager to build an aunt-niece relationship. As a working single mom, I appreciated the help and welcomed what seemed like a maturing stepdaughter. The clothing borrowing started innocently enough. Caitlin would admire Emma's clothes during visits and ask if she could borrow a sweater for parties. They're so cute, and vintage looks are in. She'd say. I didn't mind lending her a few pieces here and there. After all, as Emma's godmother, Caitlin had given many of these clothes as gifts.
Godmother. Honestly, I don't know. Did they say who? I don't remember. I'll listen back to this in the post, and obviously I'll remember. But I don't remember what they are to each other. But godmother? I don't. Sister? Maybe she is the sister. I think. I'm not sure. I wouldn't know until my childless stepsister. Oh, so it is stepsister.
But the borrowing escalated rapidly. Soon, Caitlin was asking for designer outfits, expensive dresses relatives had sent for special occasions, and even sentimental pieces like the handmade christening gown my grandmother had made for me and that Emma had worn at her baptism. When I hesitated to lend this last item, Caitlin's demeanor changed dramatically. You're being so selfish, she snapped. You got all of Dad's money, and I'm stuck with barely anything. You owe me. I deserve to borrow.
You do not deserved anything. You were, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. You weren't his actual child. You don't have rights for anything. Unless he adopted you, then maybe there's a case, but otherwise, you don't have any case. You don't have any rights. So obviously, this shit is stupid. I might be wrong. He might have adopted her, but I don't think he did.
A stupid dress. This caught me off guard. I tried explaining that Dad's decision had been based on his own judgment, and that her trust fund was substantial. But she'd clearly been harboring resentment about the will. Rather than argue, I let her borrow the gown, stipulating she return it immediately after her event. The pattern worsened. Caitlin would show up demanding to borrow clothes, insisting it was the least I could do given the estate division. When I refused items she wanted, she'd make snide comments about my hoarding wealth while she struggled financially. She claimed her trust fund payments didn't cover her lifestyle, though I knew she was receiving nearly 3,000.
Her lifestyle, my dude, cut back your lifestyle if you're fucking. If you can't personally keep up with your own lifestyle, don't beg for money. Don't beg for money to disguise it as something else. That shit is stupid. You can always go down in your lifestyle. It's not the end of the world. Like, my god. Just makes no sense. Fucking shit, man.
$1,000 monthly. I discovered the first major violation when cleaning Emma's room. A Burberry coat we bought for Emma's winter photo shoot was missing. When confronted, Caitlin admitted she borrowed it without asking because I probably wouldn't have said yes anyway. She promised to return it soon. Weeks passed with no coat, and when I pressed her, she admitted she'd gotten wine stains on it and couldn't afford to have it professionally cleaned. Then gifts started to.
Okay, and I mean, do you still have it? I mean, I understand you don't want to return something that's dirty, but I mean, even if you can't clean it, doesn't mean they can't clean it. And even if it's a wine stain, you probably could clean it eventually. Wine stain, it does. Obviously, it's probably an excuse, of course, but it would come out eventually. Even if you leave it for like a couple of years, if you have a specific solution, it would come out. You could take wine stains out. So, I mean, honestly, she could still return it.
Disappearing. Expensive toys relatives sent for Emma's birthday, an iPad her godmother had given her, even cash from birthday cards would vanish after Caitlin's visits. When questioned, she'd claim Emma had misplaced things or that she'd put them somewhere safe and forgotten where. The breaking point came when my former
Right,
mother in law
right.
sent an exquisite French made dress for Emma's 6th birthday, worth over $500. It was a family heirloom, passed down for generations. Caitlin immediately asked to borrow it for a music festival. I flatly refused, explaining its sentimental value. That night, I installed a nanny cam in Emma's room after finding the dress missing from her closet. What I captured horrified me. The footage showed Caitlin entering Emma's room the next day while I was at work. She went straight to the closet and removed the French dress. Examining it carefully, she then deliberately cut the fabric with scissors, making it look like accidental damage from wear. She photographed the damage with her phone, then stuffed the ruined dress into her oversized purse. Later, I checked Emma's other belongings and found more disturbing evidence. Birthday money had been removed from cards. Several other expensive items were missing. When I demanded explanations, Caitlin became defensive and manipulative. "You're paranoid," she accused. "I would never steal from family. Emma probably lost that stuff."
That's a lie. She doesn't know it, but you're caught on camera. But she's trying to spin a story, of course. And yeah, obviously, you don't know at the fact, at the time, you don't know you're caught on camera, so you're trying to spin some sort of lie to get your way out of it, to wheeze your way out of it. Uh, Honestly, depending on your tone, I won't believe you as well. Like, if you just casually say it, then obviously it's fine. But if you have some sort of tone that you know, then maybe I won't believe you at all. Like, what? No. It's all about your tone. Even if I don't have any evidence, I can't prove that you did anything, but I could have some doubt that you are guilty or not guilty.
"Kids are careless." Then the threats began. "If you keep accusing me of things, I'll tell everyone how you're actually treating me. I'll tell them you're abusing your child and taking advantage of my grief. Who do you think they'll believe?" I started documenting everything with a nanny cam. Over 2 weeks, I captured Caitlin systematically going through Emma's belongings, taking photos of damaged items she planned to claim later, and even attempting to access my computer when she thought I wasn't looking. The most damning footage showed Caitlin meeting someone at a resale shop, selling several of Emma's Christmas gifts, including an American Girl doll set worth nearly $300. She pocketed the cash and laughed about how idiots pay retail for kids' stuff when kids don't even appreciate it. I confronted her with screenshots from the footage. She denied everything at first, then played the victim. "You're just like Dad, favoring your real daughter over me. I sacrificed so much for this family, and this is how you repay me?" I set firm boundaries: no more unsupervised time with Emma, no more borrowing anything, and she needed to return all stolen items immediately. She refused, insisting she'd earned these things through emotional labor as the unfairly treated stepdaughter. I went to speak with my stepmother Diane, hoping she could reason with Kate.
Yeah, no, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work. Like that would not work. I don't need to hear this. That would not work. She's gonna support her daughter, of course. Even without even listen. Even if it is true, obviously most people would most parents would agree with their kids, unless it's something to go against their values. Then most likely they would agree with their kids, even if they are wrong. But if they're proven wrong, then obviously the parents will get mad at their kid because they're making themselves look bad because they agreed with you. But I want to know what she did. Like, what did she do? What did she provide? Don't understand.
To my shock, Diane defended her daughter completely. "You've
Yep.
always been cold to Caitlin. You never accepted her as real family. Your father spoiled you with inheritance money, so maybe she deserves some.
See, listen to this. I don't really know if this stepmother actually truly loved the father or she's a gold digger. I'm not sure. I can't tell for the judgment character because I'm just listening to it. But from that statement alone, it sounds like you're stupid. I don't understand. I really don't. Why? Mm.
Extra help from you. This betrayal stung deeply. Rather than arguing further, I simply restricted both Caitlin and Diane from my home, blocked their attempts to contact me, and began gathering information for potential legal action. Then came the annual family trust meeting. Dad's estate lawyer, Thomas, had requested all beneficiaries gather for important updates. I arrived alone, having hired a babysitter for Emma. Caitlin attended with Diane, immediately bragging about her new Louis Vuitton purse, which I recognized as one she'd stolen photos of from Emma's closet before claiming she'd bought it with her savings. Thomas began the meeting with unusual formality. I need to discuss some discrepancies I've discovered regarding the estate distribution. He looked directly at Caitlin. Specifically, regarding funds you've been receiving that weren't part of the original will. Confusion spread around the table. Thomas continued, Ms. Caitlin, your father left specific instructions that your trust would cease immediately if you engaged in certain behaviors he was concerned about, including stealing from family members or manipulating inheritance expectations. Caitlin's face paled. Diane protested loudly, but Thomas raised his hand.
So the dad of this girl actually knew that she was that type of girl. Oh my god. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Ooh, that is MVP. Holy shit. Rest in peace, but holy shit. MVP. He read her like a book. My god. What does she get nothing now of um because she manipulated people, giving her money or so, or she started stealing or whatever? Let's see.
Silence. Your father had concerns about patterns he'd observed in your past relationships and friendships. He installed safeguards in the trust. Furthermore, he left a sealed letter to be opened only if these provisions were triggered. He handed me a thick envelope.
Bro, the level just started and we're already getting overrun? I gotta take these guys out and build this crossbow tower as fast as possible.
He handed me a thick envelope. Inside was a letter from Dad, dated shortly before his death, and a collection of documents detailing previous incidents where Caitlin had stolen from family friends, manipulated relatives for money, and even filed a false insurance claim for stolen jewelry that was later found in her possession. Dad's letter apologized for not addressing these issues earlier and explained why he'd structured her inheritance with strict conditions. Most remarkably, he revealed that he'd left Caitlin more than I thought. She'd been receiving an additional monthly payment that exceeded what Jake and I received combined. This payment, hidden from everyone including Diane, would have continued for life if she'd honored the trust's behavioral conditions. The supplementary payments terminated last month when multiple reports of theft and manipulation came to my attention, Thomas announced. Ms. Caitlin, you've been receiving an additional $7,500 monthly on top of your stated trust fund. That income has now ended, and the remaining principal reverts to the estate for charitable distribution, as per your father's wishes.
She's she's greedy. That's pretty much all she is. She was a greedy person, or they were a greedy person. Like, my God, you're not content with 7,500 plus the 3,000 a month. How can you spend that much money a month? Like, seriously, that doesn't make sense. People that spend that kind of money monthly, how? There's just no way, unless you're buying like new clothes every single day, buying new perfumes every single day, new shoes every single day, multiple outfits a day. I mean, having multiple cars a day. Like, shit, it doesn't make any sense how you can spend through all that money. And then you're trying to steal from people as well. I feel like she likes, or they like the adrenaline rush of stealing and manipulating. That's probably what they like. They probably like that feeling that it gives you for doing it.
The room erupted. Diane was sobbing, realizing her daughter had been receiving substantially more than her stepchildren but still stealing from them. Caitlin stood abruptly, knocking over her chair. This is a conspiracy.
Honestly, I don't think the stepmom even cares. I think the reason she's crying now is because she got caught. Like I said, I think the reason she's crying is because she got caught, and now she's trying to act like she actually cares.
She screamed. You all planned this. Dad would never do this to me. Thomas calmly presented timestamp documentation showing when the original trust was modified and the precise conditions Caitlin had violated. The evidence included reports from the security company Dad had hired to monitor her spending patterns. Apparently, he discovered her reselling gifts from family members years ago. After the meeting, Caitlin attempted to follow me to my car, pleading for forgiveness and claiming she'd pay back everything she'd taken. I handed her a small box containing all the nanny cam footage compiled onto a flash drive. Consider this final notice, I said. You have 1 week to return everything you've stolen or I'm filing criminal charges. The statute of limitations hasn't expired on any of this. She tried once more to spin the narrative, crying about how Dad never loved her and how I'd poisoned everyone against her. But the facade was...
Shut up. I mean, he loved you enough to giving you more money than his actual kids. Like, if you were, like, seriously, the narrative, you can't spin the narrative because now everyone knows you have the trust and an additional 7,500. How the fuck can you spin that narrative that the father didn't love you, the stepfather didn't love you? That wouldn't make any sense. What, you're gonna spin it that he's just making up because he feels guilty that he didn't spend much time? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Why would he do it now after he's dead? Like, that doesn't, no, because what? He's just giving you money wouldn't help.
cracking. Even Diane seemed to see her daughter clearly for the first time. In the end, Caitlin returned most of Emma's belongings through a mutual friend, avoiding any further contact. The damaged christening gown was professionally restored at her expense. She moved across the country shortly after, and we haven't heard from her since. Diane eventually reached out to apologize, admitting she'd been in denial about Caitlin's behavior for years. We maintain a cordial relationship now, though trust remains damaged. As for Emma, she never fully understood the depths of her aunt's betrayal. To her, Caitlin simply stopped visiting.
That makes sense. She's like 6. It just a lot of kids are smart, but some kids, they are smart. It's just some topics they don't fully understand. Oh shit. Sorry if you hear me clicking. My 2 nails clicking together. What was I? What was
One day. I've kept the truth from her for now. She'll hear it when she's old enough to understand family can sometimes disappoint you, but also protect you. Dad's unexpected vigilance from beyond the grave taught me that sometimes parents see patterns we don't want to acknowledge. His careful estate planning protected not just my financial security but my child's emotional well-being. And while I felt guilty about exposing Caitlin's behavior so publicly, I realized that some truths need daylight to prevent further harm.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
Not wrong, honestly. That's actually pretty spot on. Sometimes you need to, actually say something in order for something to actually change. And it doesn't always work, obviously. But, I mean, just because you said it, so obviously now people know your stance, or basically now people know the fact that whatever the scenario is. Okay. My childless stepsister wouldn't stop borrowing my daughter's clothes, saying she was paying us. And that's why Reddit Storm React. Okay, have a nice day, night, evening, afternoon.